Hello everybody, this is Brandon from the Turtle Club and welcome back to another IRL deck profile here on the Turtle Club YouTube channel for Fusion World. So today we have, probably in some people's idea, the least of the green decks currently at the moment. I however have a different opinion. This is kind of my main deck. I know I threw up the U7 deck profile before, but this is actually the one I've been testing the most on the digital clients, what I've been climbing the ranks with. And also the one I take to locals. I do pretty well with it. I would love to see like a larger tournament and see how that kind of turns out. But at the moment, it has been doing pretty well for me. So I figured I'd go and show you guys the list. No crit leaders in green, thankfully. So it's a draw one on the front, awaken at 4. On the backside, the permanent is actually the one that comes in clutch with this deck. So at 6 energy, you gain an extra plus 10 power for the turn. So you're a 30k swing and you draw 1. So that is the leader here. It's very archetype based, so I'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. You start out with your draw ones. This is just the Goku from the set. Super simple, pay 1, draw 1. You'd love to see these pretty early. And then we also have the pay 1 and search top 5 for an Android 17 or 18. And then you place the rest at the bottom randomly, so it's good just to see your 2-cost SR or things like that. Speaking of the 2-cost SR, we do run 3 of these. Sorry, we run 3 currently at the moment, only because you can recur them from the drop. Some people couldn't run 4 depending on your ratios for other pieces, but I like to keep it at 50, and I like to kind of even out the ratios for the most part. So, but yeah, super simple. The SR is fantastic. It's a 20k. When you play it, you draw 1, then discard 1. So like, you can just filter your hand basically. And then at 6 energy, when it attacks, you draw a card as well. So if it sticks, it just gains you a bunch of value, because swinging and drawing a card is fantastic. We do run 4 of the Android 20s. This one has the activate main KO this, look at top 10, and play out Dr. Droids lab, and then place the rest at the bottom. Whiffing on this does suck, so you kind of want to max out your ratios. This being at 4, you can run the Droids lab at 4, but you can see that I run it at 3. If you see this and this in your opening hand, I would always say just play the Droids lab just for the ease of access. You hate to whiff on this here, so I do see it for the most part though. Like I see it in my hand, or I from opening hand, or I draw it later, or I end up hitting off the top 10. Again, it does suck to whiff, so you can do 4 and 4, but I think 4 and 3 at the moment is pretty good. Oh, and if people don't know, this is free basically. So you pay 1 green, switch to the rest, charge if your leader is an Android 17, so it just leader locks it. Basically, you just charge an Android from your drop to your energy, and it doesn't say in rest mode, so it's just a 1-for-1, which is pretty great. Then we run 3 of the Android 17 4-cost. This one adds up to, this is your life taker basically, so you add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then you play up to 1 Android 18 with a cost of 3 or less from your drop. So not only can it play the SR later on, but it can also play this one right here. So this one is a 10k combo, which is nice, and then it says when it's hacking, place 1 card from your energy in your drop, and then add 1 card from your hand to your energy. Again, it doesn't say in rest mode, so it just comes in active mode. So it's you can play this for 3 or play it with the 4-cost, swing, and then you net an energy back. I know it's from hand, but sometimes there are dead cards in your hand that you can kind of just combo off and be okay with. Again, it is a 10k, so it does come in clutch later, like when you're trying to combo out of larger swings. Then on the counterpart, we have the 3 of the Android 18. So this one is the opposite. So you take 1 life from your hand still, but you play it a 17, cost 3 or less from your drop. And the good thing about this play is you have a 25k skillless beater that you play. So this one can like run over some cards, add some pressure. It pressures Broly. So like let's say later on in the game, if you have 2 of these, you can play both of them because you have so much energy at that point. You can play 2 of these guys from the drop, and that's 2 25ks. You can combo some 5s on this if you have like little weenies left on board. So it really does come in handy. I do prefer the 17 into 18 play though, because that SR being played for free. I mean, not free. You're paying 4 for the other one, but essentially free. And then again, it just nets so much value. I do run 3 of the Son Gohan Childhood, so it's a 5-cost 10k combo, pops a 4 or less. It is a 30k swing, so sometimes if you need early removal for smaller guys, like against red, if you need to clear their Gohan, or if you need to clear a yellow's like cooler or the Frieza and stuff like that, you could just play that for cheap. But going into the big guys here, we do run 3 of the 17 and 18s. This card is nuts. It's searchable as well. So if you see it off the top 5 with the 1 cost, it's fantastic, especially if you don't have one in hand. Turn 6, dropping this, or even later, and then either guaranteeing a double strike or clearing 3 guys from the board, because you can remove 2, 3 or lesses and KO them, which is nice. It's so much value. A 40k is a huge swing. 1 more energy than the regular SRs in the set for other colors, and you get another 5k. It's a lot, actually. I do run 1 Son Gohan Secret Rare. This against red and against yellow, like when they're having a huge board, popping a bunch of weenies and popping, like basically like resetting the board, and then having a 50k just to stick for next turn is super clutch, especially because, again, you do have a lot of 10ks in the deck, so playing this for 7 isn't necessarily the end all. And pitching the card, you just pitch an android or something that doesn't gain a lot of value, and then you just charge it with your Jiro's Lab next turn. Then we have the main contender here, 3 of the big 8-cost Broly. I mean, if you don't know what this card does yet, you really should, because it wins games a lot of the time, or just resets the game a lot, especially if a person has a Broly on board already and you have one in your hand. You just clear theirs, and if they don't have another one, then they just have to deal with the 45k each turn. So draw 1, I play for 8, draw 1, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, any battle card, so you just pop like the biggest threat for the most part, and then when it attacks, you restand it, so it's a dual attacker. 45k is nuts. 8 cost is super easy to get to. You ramp pretty decently if you see everything on curve, so not too bad. For King Vegeta super combos, you kind of need to run it. I do run 2 instant commies here. This is for later or when you're pushing for game. You really don't want to use these to like save yourself from a damage. You kind of want to just use your battle cards for the most part. This is good in like a last case scenario if you really need to, because you don't run into the 5-cost Gokus, so you really can't net the energy back. So this is really good for when you push from a game. After you play your big threat, you can use this to combo another 15k, or to pump your leader if you're doing like a 1 huge swing or something like that. But it is just there for like extra free value. And then I run 2 Gigantic Meteor. Thinking about maybe changing the Gigantic Meteor ratios around, but I think with the way that this deck plays, at least the way I've been playing it, 2 is fine. Because the paying 1 for a 25k either on you or your opponent's turn, you really have to keep that energy open. And sometimes I just want to use it all. Like if I'm at 10 energy, I'd rather play a 4-cost 17 to play out the 18 SR for my drop, and then drop the double strike SR on top of them for 10. Then kind of figure out other plays. But sometimes if you have both of these in your hand and like an instant commie and a bunch of 10ks, you can just combo to like 200,000, which I've done before. So yeah, this deck is great. It's definitely got a really good matchup into most green decks. I think Broly, for the most part, you can starve him out, and then you hit him from 5 to 3, which is like the ultimate thing to do. Or you play the 8 cost and hit them from 4 to 3, and they have to awaken to try to save themselves, but you can just combo over top of it. Again, a lot of 10ks, which is nice. I know Green Broly has a bunch of 5ks for the most part, so this one does kind of help combo out of certain things, like the Jiro. 3 cost is a 10k. A lot of the 3 cost androids are a 10k. You have your Gohan and things like that. There are some zeros, like it's mostly just the, thankfully it's mostly just the Broly, the 17, 18, and then the secret rare. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 7 0 cost, so it's not terrible. For this deck is fun though. I think people should change their stance on this deck and how they think it's like the worst, because I've been climbing really well. I've gotten some close games with some yellow decks and green decks. For the most part, I squeak it out. Even at locals, if you get like swung on to infinity by aggro, a lot of the 5ks and 10ks that you have, you can really get out of it. And on the crackback, you can just win, because that dropping that SR is insane. And again, your leader is a 30k, so like Gohan and Broly have to pitch energy, to pump, but as long as you are at 6, which is super easy to do, you're just constantly a 30k threat, which is insane. So you don't have to waste any energy or try to have a 5 cost out, that way you don't go, that way you go like negative or whatever. This one is just always going to be a 30k. And then you have kind of your own aggro as well, because you're not just playing like one giant threat for the most part. You can play a lot of low to the ground guys, like your SRs, your 4 cost rares to play out another guy from drop, and you can take life from them as well. So I think this is pretty much like, besides Paragus, this is one of the only decks that can take life. So you can't really get held unless like you don't see enough of them. But like you can tap 4 and just take from 5 to 4 and awaken, and it's such a good turn. You can draw a lot of value from it. So, but yeah, no, that's the list. Check it out for yourself, man. See how you like it, and if you do, go ahead and comment down below, and also comment what you guys want to see, like other lists. We have a Goku Black guy from Locals who actually got God tier or God rank on the Fusion World client, so we'll probably have his channel or his deck profile up on the channel. So keep looking out for more stuff for Fusion World. As always, see you guys later.